Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. This is Metro News. Rare white buffalo birth fulfills prophecy akin to second coming. Well, this sounds pretty interesting. There's a lot of you that have sent me emails and comments about this, and I thank you for that. I probably would not have come across this myself, I don't think. So this is not something that I would view as fulfillment of our own prophecy, of course. This is not like a prophecy within the church. Do I think it's like a legitimate prophecy? No, but I think it still has value. I think things like this still have value, and I'm about to explain why. Okay, before we do, I just want to remind you, I got the new Artza box for this quarter. Artza is a company based out of Israel. They send you these boxes full of miscellaneous items. Usually it includes food and snacks and crafts and beauty products and all sorts of stuff. This is from the previous one from earlier this year, but then this is from the new one. And at this point, I've had a chance to try out the granola, and it was, in fact, very good. All the food products are they're quality. Like, all this stuff is quality. It's really fun to get. My girls always look forward to it. It's really, really fun if you have kids, because they will call dibs on different things and sometimes fight over it. But you just break up the fighting. You do things in an equitable way, and everybody's happy. The Heavenly Pop was amazing. But anyway, you can get 25% off if you order Artza. They have these different boxes that they sent out. Each one has a theme. Typically, the theme will go along with a certain location in Israel, because with like the associated small businesses that are in these areas, like Nazareth, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Galilee, and there's others. And there's a Christmas box too. That's always my favorite one, is the Christmas box. So if you go to the any given video, you go down to the description box. Right down here, you'll see order your Artza box from Israel, 25% off with code Jared25. So I'll put another link for that like up here so it's easier to find, but just make sure to check that out. It's really fun. Okay, so let's read a little bit of this. So this is from, this one was published today. Okay. A rare white buffalo calf was reportedly born in Yellowstone National Park, fulfilling an American Indian prophecy that is synonymous to the second coming of Jesus Christ. The calf was identified by a visiting family who spotted something really white in a herd of bison by the Lamar River on June 4th. I look and it's this white bison calf, said Aaron Broughton, who snapped a photo. And then continuing, I was just totally floored. Chief Arvil Looking Horse, who is spiritual leader of the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota Oyate, said the white buffalo's birth is like the second coming for his people. Okay, so this is a big deal to them, obviously. And it's kind of a big deal to me because this is a really cute little calf. I do actually have a homestead. If you're new to the channel, that's why the name of my channel is Christian Homestead. I was going to include like a lot more homestead content, but it became what it is right now. But we have had cows, and typically we would buy them as what you might call bottle calves or bucket calves, where usually like dairy farms or other places, they have calves that they can't keep, and so you can get them for really, really cheap. They're risky because they're not on their mom. You're giving them cow or milk replacer, and you have to like really closely monitor their health. But they're so cute. So this like reminds me of like all the different bottle calves that we've had. It is so cute. Here's another picture of it. So I want to feed it a bottle. Okay, so why would this matter to us as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Well, I think this is why. Let's go to the Book of Mormon, Alma chapter 18, verses 24 to 29. So this is the part of the Book of Mormon that has to do with Ammon, the great missionary that went among the Lamanites. And I did a search in the Scripture Citation Index because I was trying to find this scripture for the term Great Spirit. And Great Spirit shows up 13 times in the Book of Mormon. Most of those times in chapter 18, but a couple other times in chapter 19 and 22. So Great Spirit, That's not something that we typically use like in our Sunday services or or like at the temple. We don't go there and talk about the Great Spirit. So why is this showing up so much in the Book of Mormon? Well, I think there's actually a lesson in this. Okay, so, and Ammon began to speak unto him with boldness. This is talking about he's talking to King Lamoni. And Ammon began to speak unto him with boldness and said unto him, Believest thou that there is a God? And he answered and said unto him, I do not know what that meaneth. That's the key. I don't know what that means. What God? What is that? Okay. Verse 26. And then Ammon said, Believest thou that there is a great spirit? And he said, Yea. And Ammon said, This God? This is God. And Ammon said unto him, Again, believest thou that this great spirit, who is God, created all things which are in heaven and in earth? And he said, Yea, I believe that he created all things which are in the earth, but I do not know the heavens. So this is something that I think a lot of missionaries are taught. At least this is something that I was taught on my mission, that when you're teaching the gospel to somebody, they have different vocabulary. They have different understandings of things. Although they may be speaking about the same thing. It's just kind of like there's like the language factor, vocabulary. And so you build that bridge and you identify those times when they may be describing something this way. And it's like, oh, we call it this. This is the way that these are the words that we use to describe what we're talking about. So you go to somebody according to their understanding and you work from there and you build them up. And I think that that's what the Lord does with different nations and tribes and religions and people. He speaks to them in their language. So let's look at the actual prophecy. It's described in more detail in this Associated Press article. Reported birth of rare white buffalo calf in Yellowstone Park fulfills Lakota prophecy. And there it is again. Okay. This is by Amy Beth Hansen. Okay. For the Lakota, the birth of a white buffalo calf with a black nose, eyes, and hooves is akin to the second coming of Jesus Christ, Looking Horse said. Lakota legend says about 2,000 years ago. Now, again, not saying that this is like an actual prophecy or like a legitimate prophecy, but you can see how there's like a parallel, or it's like really close to Christ, because Christ came to those in the Americas 2,000 years ago, about, roughly 2,000 years ago after his resurrection. So, excuse me, it could be that this legend, this prophecy, this story, maybe it has some elements of truth in it, because, 2,000 years, that's an interesting amount of time. So maybe things kind of got changed and twisted over time, but maybe there's some actual reference, little bits of truth that hail back to Christ's visit to the Americas. I don't know. I'm not making that claim. Even if that's not the case, you can see how the Lord could be kind of like using this, like, using their language, their understanding, great spirit, white buffalo. But then soon, Christ is going to come and they'll have like a deeper understanding of what was being taught, or what their minds were being pointed to. This is why I'm very interested in the Jews. Let me pull this up. I've been trying to keep track of like signs that seem to be specific to the Jews. Let me see, where do I have this? It's probably under signs. Signs, Jewish, Israel specific. I also have signs that are church specific, but I watch what's going on in the Jewish world. Oh, I need to build this up. I only have like one thing on there right now. I thought I had a lot more. Okay, well, I'm going to build this up. I've been keeping track of things that they view as signs, because I think that the Lord speaks to them according to their own understanding. Even though they don't accept Christ as the Messiah, they are looking forward to Messiah coming and initiating the Messianic age, which is supposed to go for 1,000 years. So what they don't know, or what they reject at the moment, is that it's going to be the second coming, and the Messianic age is going to be the millennium, when Christ reigns and rules as king. So yeah, I'll have to build this up. I thought there was more on here. I think I was probably confusing it with this one. If I go to Judaism temple preparation, I have like a bunch of ways that they've been preparing to build the third temple, and there's been like a lot of stuff that they've done. Okay, so anyway, so you understand where I'm coming at this from. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, their prophecy was right, but I'm like, wow, it seems like they're being pointed to what's about to happen, the actual second coming. Okay, so Lakota legend says about 2,000 years ago, when nothing was good, food was running out, and bison were disappearing, white buffalo calf woman appeared, presented a bull pipe and a bundle to a tribal member, taught them how to pray, and said that the pipe could be used to bring buffalo to the area for food. As she left, she turned into a white buffalo calf. Quote, and someday, when the times are hard again, Looking Horse said in relating to the legend, I shall return and stand upon the earth as a white buffalo calf, black nose, black eyes, and black hooves. And yeah, you can see that with this calf. Black nose, black eyes. Can't really see the hooves. You kind of can there. I don't know. Maybe there's a better view of it here. No, we'll just have to take their word for it. A similar white buffalo calf was born in Wisconsin in 1994 and was named Miracle, he said. Troy Hennert, the executive director of the South Dakota-based Intertribal Buffalo Council, said the calf in Broughton's photos looks like a true white buffalo because it has a black nose, black hooves, and dark eyes. From the pictures I've seen, the calf seems to have those traits, said Hennert, who is Lakota. An albino buffalo would have pink eyes. A naming ceremony has been held for the Yellowstone calf, Looking Horse said, though he declined to reveal the name. A ceremony celebrating the calf's birth is set for June 26th at the Buffalo Field Campaign headquarters in West Yellowstone. Other tribes also revere white buffalo. Quote, many tribes have their own story of why the white buffalo is so important. All stories go back to them being very sacred. Okay, so you have the Lakota and other tribes that view this as a special event, something that doesn't happen very often, something that's sacred, and even so far as to say that it's essentially almost like their version, in a way, of the second coming of what was it? White buffalo calf woman. So, that's all I have to say about it. I think it's really neat. I'll probably put this down somewhere. I don't want to forget about this, so maybe I'll put up my second coming timeline. I'm not sure, but it's just another thing. It's another weird thing to happen this year. There's been so many crazy things, crazy signs. The eclipse, the aurora. I can't get over the aurora. I never thought I'd see that in my life. I really didn't. And here I saw it in Kansas, of all places, and so many other things. And, we're coming up on the halfway mark of this year. Once we get to the end of June, the year will be halfway over, and it's already been so crazy. And then as we approach the latter part of the year, especially with elections and things coming up, I don't know. I'm very curious. I know you're very curious how that's all going to go. It's probably going to be crazy. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.